Hey guys and gals, Zoop here, and I hope you all are doing well. Before we kick things off with this video, two quick notes. Massachusetts winner has been contacted. CP Metis is the winner, but I have yet to hear back. You've got a week before I re-roll, so get a hold of me or someone else gets it. Also, Georgia has been drawn. Congrats to Giannis from Greece. This mighty tier 10 is yours. I have emailed you. Get back to me. Lastly, I mentioned the ranked sprint contest I've got going. I want to let you know that Mijash has a similar one going as well. Please, check it out. And if you haven't already checked out Mijash's streams yet, you totally need to. Very chill player, and he has a cool dog. Alright, the admin stuff is out of the way. Now on to somewhat of an uncomfortable topic. It's a tough topic for me. You guys know I love this game. I played it for what, 4+ years or so now? That is literally longer than any other game I've played. I've never in my life played another game as much and for as long as I have played Warships. I've seen the game tweaked and changed and balanced, and the additions of more ship lines, ups and downs. I, along with you, have seen it all. But lately something is different. And no, it's not my enjoyment of the game that's waning. That's still there, despite the frustrations I've had. It has more to do with the recent decisions around the game itself. And no, I'm not talking about the CV rework. That's a dead horse that has been beaten into the ground. I still think it was the right move, but I'll admit 4 or 5 months in, my patience is beginning to wane with the class. I'm starting to believe we will never have a good balance and that the pendulum will swing to either too strong or too weak. But alas, carriers aren't going anywhere. Wargaming has invested too much time. Carriers are too big to fail. But again, CVs are beside the point and not the main point of this video. The recent announcement regarding ships and balance are more what concerns me right now, as well as the speed of the release of these ships. Never at any time in the game can I recall more ships and more high-tier ships in the pipeline. There is such a thing as oversaturation, and I think it's happening right now. Many players at both Anchors Away events stated that at this point, they don't want more ships. They want fixes. UI fixes. There's issues with the game that have plagued it from day one. The port primarily. At this point, if you have tons of warships, it's flat out slow. And while every now and then there's a patch release that speeds it up a little, it's still slow compared to other games out there. There are creature comforts that we're missing that players want and feel we need, things we've been asking for forever. Where's the ability to turn chat off? Where's the ability to message people in games so you can sync with them? Where are the refinements to the chat and ban process? These are the small things that have been bugging players for years that still have not been addressed. But back to those ships again, and I hate to harp on them, but they are a huge issue in my opinion. We're oversaturated with gimmicks at this point, and many of the ships we're getting are just flat out wrong for the game. Colbert is poisonous, Smolensk is dangerous, and the worst part is these ships are getting buffs instead of nerfs. And I haven't even talked about the Slava. That ship needs to be gone. There's no need for that at all. Rather than adding these ships which are balanced around the current meta, maybe focus on the original tech tree ships which are suffering right now. Look at ways to help them and get players back into them, not creating borderline OP ships that make the older ships even less relevant. I've never seen such a large disconnect in the past 4+ years between what the players actually want and need and what we're getting, and it concerns me greatly. Some of the decisions coming out are just plain baffling. Beyond ships, we lack game modes. We still have standard battle, domination, and the odd epicenter, which some enjoy, but does anyone truly love it? What happened to arms race? What happened to the Halloween mode where the map shrinks? There are plenty of ways to implement game modes, and yet we still only have the core 3. We've gotten a few new maps. Great. I'm at the point where I'd love to see a new map over a new ship any day. Unless, of course, it's a ship that the community really wants. And let's talk about the economy, which is completely out of whack right now, and it's only gotten more out of whack. I mean, players don't need to play mid-tier ships anymore. And you know I harped on the problem with mid-tier ships. Players can just skip through them, and I guarantee you, French ships coming out, there's going to be missions that you can get in crates, and you're going to get that tier 8 mission, and once you get that tier 8, you're going to play a couple rounds in the tier 9, you're going to say screw it, and you're just going to free XP to the tier 10. You're not even going to look at the mid-tier destroyers. You're just not. Why bother when you can just shortcut to tier 10? The start of the economy was probably the Missouri. That was a huge mistake. I'm pretty sure Wargaming knows that. And that's why you can't get the Missouri anymore, except for a few ways, like contests and finding it in an Anchors Away event. But the Missouri was the start of the wrecking of the economy. And here we are now. We've got steel, we've got molybdenum and unobtainium and other kinds of stuff. And God only knows what we're going to have several months from now when steel is no longer viable because everyone can get it, or everyone can't get it. And that's another issue all on its own. The steel wall that casual players just aren't going to be able to get past. And they're punished. They're not going to get these borderline OP tier 10 ships that are coming out because they just don't have the time to sink into ships. Rank's an issue. I talked about that on the podcast with the Warships podcast guys. Rank's a huge issue. It's a grind. It's not fun. It's not rewarding. It's really not competitive either. It's broken, and while sprints a move in the right direction, we only get that so often, and you don't get steel, so you're stuck playing ranked as long as you can, as much as you can, for that steel, and you're miserable doing it. Sadly, I fear things might get worse. Submarines are coming. Wargaming has said as much, if you recall an episode from the Warships podcast a while back. This was their words, not my own theory. We don't know when, but they're coming. I guess at least that'll take away the fixation on carriers. It just seems like lately Wargaming is playing a completely different game. And while they have vast amounts of statistics and data from which to draw conclusions and make decisions, sometimes you gotta get down on the ground with the troops and see what they actually need. You need to ask the tough questions. Is this move right for the game and the player base? What does the player base really, truly need? What do they feel, and what do they want? I don't think Wargaming is completely neglecting the player base. I know their developers truly love the game and they have a strong passion for it, and they do indeed play it. But their experience is vastly different than some guy or gal that gets off work and has time for maybe 2 or 3 games for the evening before calling it quits. Those are the players you're in danger of losing the most. Honestly, I think it's time that Wargaming has a huge heart-to-heart, does some inner reflection, and really makes a concerted effort to see what the base really wants and really needs right now. Maybe a reset, so to speak. The game's been around for almost half a decade. I'd love to see it last a half decade more. This year and the next are going to make or break the longevity of this game, and I really hope they can pull it out because I love this game, and Wargaming has done a lot of good things. They really have. But just lately, I've had these concerns, these nagging feelings. I feel a strong disturbance in the force. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents. I want to know what you think right now. What does the game need? What do you want to see? Are you happy with all the ships being tossed our way? Let me know in the comments. This is your chance to give your gripes with everything going on right now. If you have any, you might not, and if you don't, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. Like I said, this was a tough topic because I do love this game so much. And I do appreciate all the great things Wargaming has done for us and continues to do. And I know they're on our side, but I just hope they hear us. Anyhow, have fun. Zoup out.